growth of the center over the last 15 years has been nothing short of spectacular, in that we just started with a very small amount of money and myself and an assistant. Now we have a staff of 25 people and a budget of $8 or $9 million a year. We've raised nearly $100 million to focus on our research over the last 15 years. And we've been very gratified by the evaluation of our work by independent reviewers who really have put us in the top ranks of research centers in the country. I think that this is a testament especially to John Heldrich and Regina Heldrich's significant financial contribution to the center, and the leadership of John and the board, which has been very steadfast in providing financial support to us. But it's also a testament to the excellent work that the staff and faculty have done here at the center, and to the fact that we've been able to focus on the important issues in the workforce world that really matter to people.
I think the impact of the Heldrich Center the last 15 years has been remarkable and major on a number of levels. I think on the university level, it's been a major asset to the university, just added to Rutgers' prestige into the research that is done and how it's recognized. It's made a major contribution, is a major asset to the state of New Jersey because of the research it does, because it's really meaningful, important research that employers and workers need to know about, and making those connections about what's happening on the ground, what are workers' needs versus employers' needs, and trying to fill that gap and make those connections.
The Heldrich Center's contribution to this is to look at the kinds of policies and programs that will make sure that we do have a strong workforce, that help people get back to work, especially to help those people who face the greatest barriers to getting another job, the long-term unemployed, older workers, people with disabilities, people who lack basic literacy. All of them also need an opportunity to get ahead and be successful in any economy. So the Heldrich Center's contribution is to focus on these very important issues, but do so from the standpoint of a research university. And that is not just simply to advocate for policies, but to discover the policies that work, vet those policies, weed out those that aren't successful, and then provide the evidence to policymakers and to business and labor and community leaders that they can act on.
There's a real marriage here of true academic research with a perspective of both what government is looking for and what the private sector is looking for. I think that's one of the reasons why the research that comes out of the Heldrich Center is so valuable, because it's not seen as ivory tower. It's not seen as something that's going to be put on the shelf and never referred to again. It's real rubber meet the road data and information that government and the private sector can use day in and day out.
It's so funny, I've watched over the past several years the extended reach of the Heldrich Center. So I've been paying attention for the longest time. But, you know, I may be up in the morning with my cup of coffee reading the Washington Post, and here's a front page story, and it's caught my eye because it's about employment or unemployment. And then I'm reading, I'm going, wow, this is really fascinating. And then I'll say, oh, it's from a report from the Heldrich Center. I'm going, oh my goodness. And then sometimes you have to say, you know, well, wait a minute, you know, how did I miss that? You know, am I 48 hours late on the uptake here? But you'll find their work now just all over the place. I mean, it's the New York Times, it's the Washington Post. If you go onto the web, you know, and you'll be searching what's happening to working families, what's happening with unemployment, what are the latest trends in the economy, and then boom, you know, before very long, the Heldrich Center is going to pop up at you.
I think the Heldrich Center has always done research on folks who have a hard time getting into the labor market, whether it's welfare recipients or ex-offenders or people with disabilities. And people with disabilities have one of the highest unemployment rates in this country. So I think it's always been a passion of the center. It's always been a particular interest area. And we've done a lot of research in that area, anywhere from doing some projects for the New Jersey Department of Human Services and their Medicaid infrastructure grants to being a national Educational Technical Assistance and Research Center for the U.S. Department of Labor. We've always sort of over the last 10 to 15 years really been involved in this area.
Some people see evaluation as kind of, oh, we looked at this for 10 minutes and it seems like it's good, or we talked to one or two people and they said they liked the program. But that's not evaluation. That gives you some anecdotal information, but it doesn't give you the full picture. It doesn't tell you, is that working for more than just that one individual that you spoke to? Is it working for most participants? That's the question that the Heldrich Center answers by applying a scientific and rigorous process that can be repeated across observations.
One of the most important things to employers is having a skilled, educated workforce, since that is really the cornerstone to competitiveness in this global economy. Well, the center really focused on the idea of bridging the skills gap because we recognize that educational institutions and workforce development organizations really needed better information directly from employers about their skill and workforce needs in order to be able to really align their efforts with the needs of particular industries and occupations. We've developed very practical hands-on tools. For example, a series of maps, brochures, and online PDF versions of maps that really show different career options for folks who want to enter that industry and advance within it.
Even though we've made a lot of progress, I think, in doing work over the years, hundreds of projects all over the United States and also recognition around the world, none of this, of course, has solved these problems. They've only begun to chip away at some of the problems that we face. And so beginning right now and going into the next 5 to 10 years, we need to redouble our efforts to focus on the important issues, to gather the resources necessary to do that. Because the world economy and the United States economy is continuing to struggle. It's facing dramatic changes and transformations, and the structure of our entire economy and workforce has changed.
15 years we've built, I think, one of the finest organizations in the country in this field, and that's been, verified. And I said, to think that we are contributing to improvement in policy, that we are contributing to what we hope will be a workforce development system that is not only profitable, but meets our social needs and maintains the strength of our country. We can't afford to go backward. We have to go forward.